To get respect, to get the good things in life, to get good treatment, you have to demand it. Okay. It's a nasty part of life, but the truth is, if you don't set a high price on yourself and you don't have those high standards, then people are going to pay as little as they can. All right. Ask Radiohead about that. Radiohead found this at the hard way. They're your typical band, anti-corporate and all that, and anti-record label. So, I think this was about a decade ago when Napster and all that stuff and free online music was coming out. And they released an album on a pay-as-you-want model. And the end result was no one wanted to pay them for their work. And they never did that dumb shit again. And they complained about it online about their fans not valuing their work and not paying them. It's like, yeah, guys, that's how it fucking works. If you don't charge that price tag, maybe 10% of your audience might pay you a reasonable rate for it, but 90% of them are just going to take it for free. That's how people operate, right? So they never did that again. And, I suggest you do the same thing in terms of setting those high standards and setting that high price tag wherever you are in every area. Okay. Price for your friendships, price for your romantic relationships, price for your business relationships. Even just a fucking acquaintance comes with being a cost. And the cost of that is he's not disrespectful to you, right? And because the truth is people behave the way you allow them to behave. When you set low standards for yourself, you're guaranteed to get bad behavior. Every guy who's in a toxic relationship with a girl, it's your fault because you didn't check her the first time she did something wrong. And if she continued to do that, you didn't get rid of her. You just kept allowing those behaviors to go on and on and on and escalate. And then you have a shitty story about it and you're upset about it, but it is your fault because you didn't set high standards for yourself. There's no reality where I could ever be in a toxic relationship with a girl because the first time she did something crazy, I'd be like, you're gone. It's not even possible for me to hang out with you because those standards are just fucking inborn in my reality. Okay. So you have to be able to end relationships when your price isn't being paid. Doesn't matter how hot she is or how much you love her or how good the sex is. If she's cheating on you, she's got to go. If your clients in business aren't paying you, they've got to go. Or if they're late, or if they're, causing all kinds of problems, or if your friends are disrespectful to you, or, yelling at you or shitting on your goals or whatever, they've got to go too. Okay. That's just the reality. Got to price tag everything you do. All right. So that's number 5. Number 6 is you have to pay the cost to be the boss. Another wise man, James Brown, said the same thing, and I agree. More struggle, more striving, more sacrifice, more work, more turnover, more haters, more self-reliance, everything. So you want to be the boss, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You want all the good things in life. You're going to get haters. You're going to have to work harder than everybody. You're not going to be able to cry on anyone's shoulder. You're going to have to become really self-reliant. If you want to be treated like a boss, you have to act like one, okay? That means that you have to rely on yourself to solve your problems, okay? Not whining and complaining on your girlfriend's shoulder. You want your girlfriend to look at you as a leader and make you feel like a man, feel good. That means you can't be there sobbing on her shoulder or crying on her chest when you have a problem, okay? You got to be able to handle that shit on your own if you want to be treated that way. You have to pay the cost to be the boss. You have to be willing to do what it takes, and you can't whine and complain, when things aren't going your way if you want people to treat you at that high level of respect, right? It's just like if you're running a business and you have a bunch of employees and you have a tough month, you can't be crying and asking the guys, what do I do? I don't think we're going to make it this month. Those employees are going to be getting ready to leave. They're going to be like, man, I'm not going to be getting paid. I don't have confidence in this guy. I thought we were moving forward. Now I don't know what to do. They're going to start looking for a job. And then your whole situation is going to get even worse because they're going to, abandon you at your low point. That's just how it goes, man. So you got to pay the cost to be the boss. That's number 6. And number 7 is the final point and maybe the most important one because it's more of a cautionary tale, is always recognize reality, okay? So getting the good things in life is not free. Not only do you have to pay the cost to be the boss, but you have to be able to look cold, hard reality in the face without blinking, all right? Just because you demand high standards doesn't mean everyone's going to comply, All right. So you need to be constantly calibrating yourself to your surroundings. It's very important that you do that. Just because you want it doesn't make it a reality. You might be able to make it a reality in the future, but you have to recognize where you are right now. Okay. Just because you want a harem of supermodels doesn't mean that's realistic for right now. Or just because you want $1 billion doesn't mean that's realistic. You might be able to make $10 million and have a Ferrari and drive around with some really hot girls, but that's the future you, right? You have to recognize where you are right now. You can't expect to be treated like the man that you want to become when you're where you're at right now, okay? So let me give you an example from my business and your perspective. Okay, if you're a new reader or watcher of my stuff, you might be listening to me like, okay, this guy's offering a little bit of value, maybe I'll check him out. If you've been reading me or listening to me for a long time, I might offer you a lot of value, and my advice is really valuable to you in your life, and you put me on, in a high position. But if you're an airport security guard, I have zero value to you and you don't give a fuck about me whatsoever, okay? Despite all the things that I think I might have going for me, the airport security guard, I'm just another person passing through his lineup. And if he wants me to take my shoes off and go through my luggage and squat down and fucking cough, well, I'm gonna do that because he has all the fucking guns behind him, and that's just the reality, okay? What I'm not gonna do with is argue with him and yell at him and tell him shit like, I'm a lifestyle designer, how dare you do this? Like, he doesn't give a fuck about my business or anything that I'm doing, right? He doesn't give a fuck about that. It doesn't matter if I got huge. It doesn't matter if I got to the level of Tony Robbins. He doesn't care. I'm just a guy walking through his lineup. He has the guns, he has the power. I might fucking hate that guy, but I don't argue with reality, okay? Arguing with reality in the airport is gonna put you in the fast lane to the interrogation room, right? And I mean, that's just the shit you got to recognize. Having high self-esteem is important. Setting big goals for the future is important. But failure to recognize your reality right now is deadly. Failure to recognize reality results in delusion. That's why I don't like a lot of that NLP stuff. There's good stuff in NLP, but I don't like a lot of the NLP where it's like doing visualization exercises to approach a girl, where you imagine you're 10 feet tall or you're Superman or any of these other things. I prefer to look at the actual reality and calibrate 1000% to that, right? To what is going on, to observing what is going on around me. Because when you don't observe reality, when you don't recognize reality, you fall into the delusion trap, okay? And delusion hurts you in 3 ways. Number one, it sabotages your plans for creating a better reality, okay? Because it's not possible to plan for future success when you haven't understood the present. All right, that means like if you're not doing well with girls, you have to backwards engineer and use deductive reasoning to go through all the things why it's not working for you. And then you have to be able to look and say, okay, this guy's doing well. What's he doing right? How do I reverse engineer what he's doing? Or if your business isn't going well, okay, it's like, well, is it my marketing? Is it my sales? Is it the quality of the products? You go through every little area and just instead of saying, no, I'm fucking great, they're just losers, her loss, right? If the girl's not into you, fuck that bitch, she's no good anyways, it's her loss. Like that kind of mentality, is not gonna help you, okay? Delusion's bad for the second reason, because you can't learn from your mistakes, all right? It's important to have high self-esteem, but you have to recognize when you fucked up. Or, I made a mistake here, right? I fucked up this, I got into a relationship with someone who wasn't a good person. I fucked up, right? Instead of not admitting that mistake. Being able to admit when you made a mistake, and the faster you do it, the fucking easier it is to move forward and get back to getting those good things in life. And lastly, the third reason why it's so fucking dangerous to be delusional is because it's just straight up dangerous. Pride comes before a fall, and delusion is what puts you on the wrong end of that world star hip hop highlight reel. When you're outside on the street corner, you're yelling at the guy, fuck you, man, fuck you, what the fuck you gonna do? And you think you're a better fighter than you are, and that guy comes up and just one punch knocks you out and then puts you to sleep on the sidewalk. Well, delusion's what got you there. right? Delusion's what gets so many of these celebrities in trouble when they go from being dirt broke to being worth $30 million. And now they think they're a god, and they walk around acting like that, and they alienate all the producers and all their coworkers and all the people who work in media, because they become so unbearable and so out of touch with reality, and then they lose everything that they had.